Hello and welcome to Gab Quest. My name's Sarah Keefe and I'm joined as always by...
Me.
And me.
And me.
No, say and me.
Oh,
Me.
and me, Michael Caine. How is my Michael Caine?
And me. Batman's here too.
Swear to me.
So
Where did I go?
we just did episode 43.
And me, Poirot.
Oh, this is still happening.
Oh, Poirot's here. Sorry, Sarah.
Uh-oh.
Poirot's here.
Sorry,
I invited Poirot.
Oh, now it's shit.
gotta make room for Poirot.
Make room for Poirot is this phrase.
Make room for Poirot.
Love that movie.
Kenneth? Is that you, Kenneth?
It's me.
It's a me, Poirot.
It's me, Kenneth Branagh.
Fuck, I don't think he even read the book before he adapted it.
He thinks books are for women.
Oh, no.
Awful.
Mushroom Kingdom, here we go.
So we just recorded episode 43 of
Yeah.
Quest Fantastic. I started it by just doing a solo little It's 10 Years Ago because I knew that if they succeeded on the intelligence checks later on in the episode, there would be supplementary flashbacks to spread out the concept of what the Forge is. I didn't want to put too much Forge stuff ahead of the story because they were about to re-enter and redo that.
And we did sometimes.
And we
Pass
did
this
sometimes, but it was detrimental to us because then I think we normally get a lot of our chaotic energy out in that first flashback scene. So we just carried that chaos into the 10 years.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I felt a very special energy with this one.
Yeah.
I think we're all getting a bit cocky because we feel like we're approaching the end and we can just do whatever we want with no repercussions. And one day there's going to be a repercussion.
No.
Oh, okay. Well, Nell says no, so that's fine.
Oh, great. No, we'll live forever and there'll be no consequences for our lack of coherence.
Yeah.
We're going to live forever.
We're never going to die, everyone. So, yeah, Jermaine showed up as an eagle with some interesting ideas.
A real blokey eagle who is into pyramid schemes. And would it surprise you to learn that he wasn't into pyramid schemes before this? Like, on paper, not a facet of his personality. But when you were talking about purpose, I was like, what's the worst thing that he can propose? Because you are talking on his head, so he's been here the whole time.
Yeah.
And he has to chime in with something. And MLM was the absolute worst thing someone could then pitch.
Oh, it was wonderful.
I like it. I like the idea that the reason that the Eagles were never called to guide the Fellowship is just because Gandalf didn't like them very much. These fucking guys, seriously.
Honestly.
Or, yeah, like if you had to deal with them pitching you every time, you would be like, oh, okay. It's a lot, isn't it?
There's only going to be so many times before you just buy into a pyramid scheme. We've all been there, you know?
Yeah.
But I don't know if anybody else, but when Sarah started talking, when Jermaine started to talk about a business proposition, I immediately went, oh, I hope this is a pyramid scheme. That would be great.
I didn't think that.
Well, let me introduce you to my business plan a little later. It's not a pyramid scheme.
Okay, great.
It's not one if you don't call it that.
It's more like a triangle.
Yeah, it's like a ziggurat
Yeah, okay.
scheme.
Mm-hmm.
This is all good. Business words.
Bidney.
But yeah, so
Business words.
Jump had a little chat with Blett about Keyvan and Steven, which, you know, of the two things that Jump wanted to do, which was buy the statue of the gnomes and have that conversation.
Yeah.
It was I think
lesser.
that's the best. Well, yeah. Potato. That was a nice chat.
Yeah.
And I'd forgotten, such was my obsession with getting the gnome statue, I'd kind of forgotten about the meat and bones of... the meat and bones? Yeah, the meat and bones of that conversation. But I think it was
Cock
good.
and balls of that conversation.
The cock and balls with that whole fucking affair.
Cock and balls.
But that was nice.
Crock and boosh. Sorry. I'm going to stop my special comments on the side.
Nell had half of my Sunday this week.
I enjoyed
Never
it.
stop, Nell.
I had ice cream.
Thank Nell for Nell.
Thanks, Nell, for now.
But yeah, it's weird energy, I
Yes.
think, because we know we are getting to the end. We're getting very near the end. And it kind of feels like that first 100 meters of road when you come out of a toll booths and there are no lanes.
I love that part of the
And
road.
it's just time for crazy driving.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Incidentally, I no longer have my license.
Yeah.
But it's just like, I don't know, it feels weirdly free and you have 5 seconds of exhilaration.
I know. I suddenly realized it's weird because I was sitting there at one point. I'm like, so many like chapters in my life are coming to an end all at the same time in like the next month or two.
So many tractors.
Tractors, but also tractors. Yes.
Wow.
Jen was being quite vulnerable for a second there. And I was like, tractors?
Not last time around.
You fucking northerner. Oi, oi.
And that's why I'm leaving, Paul.
Oh no.
That's why I'm leaving.
You're leaving London to get away from all this.
to get away from you.
But the added tractors is a benefit as well. It's a bonus.
It is.
Yeah.
There's not enough tractors.
Let's be
not enough
fair.
tractors down here.
It is a shame. It is not necessarily a shame, but it is strange sometimes that in life a lot of things can just come to a head all at the same time.
Yeah, especially coming to a close. And we were talking about this just before. It's already been a solid year and a half since we started.
Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah.
And then also I'm moving.
You're moving.
Yeah.
You're moving out of that great house
Moving
Well,
out of the house.
It's an okay house.
to another great house. That's an alright house. But
It's okay.
you're moving to a better house because it's got parents in it.
It's got my no.
a lot of swings and misses here, Paul.
It was nice actually because the other day our neighbour
Forgot Jen hates her parents.
I saw one of our neighbours the other day and he was like, oh yeah, did your like landlady speak to you about the fact that there's like a leak coming out of what looks like to be a leak from our boiler or something? And I looked outside and I'm like, wow, yeah, that's actually pouring water down the side of the house. And I went, not my fucking problem anymore.
You flipped him off and walked backwards.
I've got 2 weeks left in this building. It's falling apart.
Fuck everything.
One advantage of being kicked out is that
Yeah.
not my problem, not going to chase it.
Oh,
Bye.
good luck with your agency, landlady.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, right? Good luck selling it, you twat.
You fucking twat.
Thanks for the memories, mostly the water.
Yeah,
yeah.
so many leaks. There's been so many leaks.
Yay.
Oh, landladies. And now she's like, oh, wow, did you tell me about that? I'm like, yeah, no, I do. I do actually have the record.
Yay, they're all your problems now.
I do have the record of that. So, yeah, the fact you haven't fixed it for 3 years is not my fault.
Yeah.
Now you care.
Yeah, so you can just suck it.
It's going to cost you quite a bit of money, isn't it, to do all of this all at once? Huh?
Whoops.
You could have spread that cost out a bit if you'd fucking listened.
Anyway, good luck with the financial troubles.
Yeah. Good luck.
Lisa. I don't know her name.
Make sure you take literally everything from that place. Unscrew the bulbs from the light fixtures and take those with you.
I will be taking the lampshade. No, I won't.
Do it.
I bought a
Take the
lampshade.
fucking curtains.
Take the curtain rail.
I will not be taking the curtains because they are shit and they came in this place. But I did put a blackout lining in one set of the curtains, and I will
that's
be taking
coming.
that.
Yeah, that's coming.
That is
Oh, yeah.
coming.
That's pure Jen.
That's portable.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Anyway, enough about my house. So yeah, things are coming to a head, and it's a weird feeling having
And you've been
lots of
fired.
stuff sort of come to an end. And I've been fired by myself. I'm freelance.
I just can't work for that bitch anymore.
Oh, true.
She's really been pushing it.
Yeah, you do have a weird feeling of being like, I'm sad, but also it feels okay, and maybe it's time for a new chapter, but I am still sad about it, but also I'm okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I keep like oscillating between being like, no, I'm okay with this, and then being like, I might just cry for like 30 seconds and that'll be enough.
Just a little cry.
Just a little
I've
bit.
actually been micro crying.
Micro-crying, yeah.
Micro weeping. And
Weeping. It's meant to be really good for
it's
you.
really good for the skin.
Just 5 milligrams a time.
It's good you can do it in private and no one has to know.
Yeah.
Super healthy.
Most offices, especially starting with Twitter actually, or X I should say, are
No,
fitting
call it
special
Twitter.
soundproof cry booths for employees.
That's nice.
Oh, all right.
Isn't that good?
Oh.
But
Still Windows though, so you can see it.
Oh yeah.
yeah, and it
And your
almost
times.
implies that they are so terrible to the employees that they have
Yeah.
to cry. Like I've
yeah.
cried in my place of employment, and I don't wish that there was a dedicated place for it. I wish that they hadn't treated me so badly
Yeah.
that I cried.
Yeah, we looked into
Yeah.
that, but it's a lot cheaper to just give you the place to cry.
Yeah. We could bring in some killer cats to maybe get rid of the problem for you. Is that good enough? I don't see why that would. They're here.
Speaking of killer cats, this episode saw the much-awaited return of car park patrol cat out my window. So
I was like,
if you
Ropo
think-
Duclaw, he's been in it the whole time.
If you think that Blur has a slightly distracted energy to him this particular week, it's because sometimes Paul was just watching a cat.
Right. Okay.
I like his
I will
style.
get us back on track
I just did.
by showing you by showing you that there was an elaborate map for the dungeon.
Wow.
There wasn't. They've even
That's
got,
beautiful.
I like the elaborate map.
it's even got the tunnel where we went on the minecart. Yeah.
Yes,
Look at the
although
minecart
I will
track.
now show you that I did cheat the minecart. Based on how much time we had, the minecart could have gone left or right, and I was like,
It's just getting left.
no,
That's
I'm just gonna force it to go
I
right.
can't ask these dingles
Oh,
anything more. I can't entrust them with anything more.
These idiots.
Yeah. Can't rely on them for shit.
Yeah, so you can see there's loops. Yeah,
Beautiful.
Yeah.
It's an efficient design. Why would you only have one way in and out of every room?
Yeah.
Yeah. You'd actually build a forge of evil out in the middle of nowhere. And
It wasn't evil to begin with.
That's true.
was it not?
No, they made puppies.
It was a dwarven forge.
Fresh from the forge.
Okay. And but did it? Oh, I thought it started evil. It didn't.
No, it was good,
No.
and then all the dwarves were murdered, and then
Oh, so it was only evil. So when Isaac was working there,
it was evil.
were all the other dwarves dead at that point?
Yes, because he helped design the Prince of Ruin's armor
Sure. Okay.
for the Eternal Armor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was 100 years ago,
okay,
right,
okay,
that
okay.
Clammy Senior
Yeah.
smashed it to fuck.
Yeah.
Well, not Clammy Senior. Clammy Junior did it with the chalice. Yeah.
For Clammy Senior.
For Clammy Senior.
Well, there you go. A rich history to this place.
Jump can see ghosts.
Yeah.
And now Jump knows that he can definitely see ghosts.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, and we weren't gaslighting you.
Yes. A plot point that I started to sow the seeds of like half a year ago and then didn't do anything with.
That's the best way to do it.
Yeah.
You need to give them a couple of months to germinate. Yeah, that was my next question actually, was this always the plan after Johannes and Fugnog? Can't forget Fugnog.
You're all
Fucking
fucking
fuck no.
Did it start
Did
with
it-
Fugnog, the joke of him being dead, or was it
Yeah. Fugnog was a joke.
how dare you?
It was just a joke in the moment. And then it thought to me afterwards, like, oh, but what if Jump could see ghosts now because he died? So then I did Johannes. And then a lot of other things happened between now and then.
A lot happened.
Maybe I could have sewn some ghosts in, but I forgot. Or I was busy. Or we had guest stars.
I was washing my hair.
After Johannes, it was basically the string of guest stars. So maybe that's why
Yeah,
my
true.
ghost concept took a backseat.
That's true.
That's true.
True.
Could have had one that play Ghost.
Yeah.
What, and just three of us blank
Yeah,
them?
none of us interact. Yeah. That could have been fun for whoever joins us and has massive insecurities.
Look, can't be any bigger than ours.
Thanks for joining us, Sean. Everyone's going to ignore you.
Except for Paul.
And there's no telling if Paul's going to be on today. So sometimes he's just aggressive. But that was fun because initially I thought, this seems like a mental thing for Jump to be doing on his own. I'll just go back and Jump realizes this is a bad idea, so he's just gonna stonewall and lie to Maggie and say it's nothing.
Sure.
Yeah, and I was sort of bricking it because, like, if you go into that room alone, how do you then learn that they are ghosts?
Yeah, you guys are looking a bit,
Pal.
may I say, spectral,
Have you lost weight?
in a sort of ghostly way.
Have you lost life?
20. You look about 21 grams lighter. Is that? Aha! Thank you, Paul.
Starring Will Smith.
Yes, 21 grams starring Will Smith. It was the
The soul. The
But
weight of
surely
the
it would
soul.
only be the 21 grams.
Yeah.
Surely if they're ghosts, then they'll have lost everything except the 21 pounds. You guys were all looking exactly 21 pounds. Grams.
oh yeah, because it's the body.
Grams.
It's the body that loses it.
Yeah.
Well, the reference was there, and I think the fact that I made the reference to great film 21 grams is important.
Look, sometimes we need you guys to do the work here, okay? We're just throwing ingredients in, sort of mixing it around. You know, we can't be thinking of the end product, otherwise this whole thing gets too didactic.
Yeah.
You need to put it together.
We're artists.
Are we?
We're artists.
Yeah.
I stopped listening about 180 seconds ago.
God bless you.
What's happening?
Nice. That's very accurate.
Well, anyway, 21 grams.
Seriously though, what's that?
It's a movie starring Sean Penn, Naomi Watts, and
I remember
Benicio
that.
del
Okay,
Toro.
I saw that at the cinema. There we go.
Oh.
I remember that. What were we talking about?
So
How did
we
get
were talking
onto this?
about 21 grams and really getting to the meat of what this movie is and what it means. But also, while I'm on the subject of 21 grams, the ghost that Jump met. Yeah, he was thinking just better to sidestep all of that. But then, such is the loopy nature of the now evil Iron Forge.
Yes. Now, you did call out in a jokey way, but an unintentionally jokey way. But this dungeon, our first dungeon in 43 episodes
Yes.
of playing Dungeons and Dragons.
And it's got dragon in.
And it had dragons
It had
in.
dragon themes.
Great.
But not first,
40,
first episode.
43 episodes to
great.
put Dungeons and
dragon
Dragons
theme.
into this game of Dungeons and Dragons.
Putting the Dungeons and Dragons in the Dungeons and Dragons.
That's the magic of Dungeons and Dragons. Don't need either.
But yeah, the fact that I wanted the ghost thing to happen meant that it had to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It had to be like a focal point that you had to rail through.
Yeah.
But
As I was pretending that they weren't a thing, I could kind of see the look on your face of, huh. All right. Well,
Bye, room. That was a good
Well,
idea.
see what happens then.
at first I thought you'd misheard me because I wanted it to be very clear that they were skin people.
Yeah.
And I think I accidentally said they were alive, which is like, well, that was straight lying.
Damn it, alive to you.
Yeah.
Ghost boy.
But also that room had the minecart that you couldn't not take.
Yeah, we absolutely were taking the minecart.
Oh yeah.
And on this occasion, I was very fine to be railroaded quite literally into back into this scene. Genuinely, I'm happy for that to happen anyway, because I can't trust myself to know what it was supposed to do in terms of plot.
Yeah.
So it's got to be a little bit.
I've told you before, I've run a game where it was like, your choice is left through the forest, or right through the forest, or straight ahead, knowing full well whatever they chose, it was going to be the same. Because I was lazy.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's the best way to run a game ever.
Sorry.
What was down the other paths, Jen? Ooh.
You'll never know.
Knowing it was too much for them to split up because it was like through a whole forest. I'm like, there's no way they're going to check out both paths. It's fine.
Just wing it.
Sorry, guys, I was lazy.
It's the illusion of choice.
Just like life,
Yeah.
the illusion of choice.
That's the most important thing. That's what I've been told by capitalism.
Yeah, exactly. As long as we think we're free.
So, things.
Yeah.
What the fuck else happened?
Yeah, the minecart was so loud and may have negative ramifications if you encounter any creatures in the next episode, because they will be aware that you are in the mine.
Oh.
So stealth checks will have no effect if you encounter bad people.
But I'm really good at those.
I know, but people know you're here now.
Dang.
Oh.
Who turned invisible in this episode? Is it Jump and Maggie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I feel like we've been flitting out in and out of. There's some wild continuity errors visually in the graphic novel of this adventure. Wait, weren't they invisible? They're just there talking like normal. But now they're invisible again.
We weren't silent, just you couldn't see.
Yeah, that's true.
I think it makes sense. I think you'll find if you go back and listen to it, it all makes perfect sense.
Uh-oh.
It makes as much sense as it needs to.
Big F.
Goodman, just whenever, just insert this wherever necessary. She said invisibly.
All right, brilliant.
Yes.
Wow.
There you go. Just slot that in wherever's necessary.
So nowhere. That's easy.
So nowhere, yeah.
Easy job for me.
It's really annoying that we do all have to say he said, she said after everything that we say in character.
It really creates a lot more work for Goodman, doesn't
He
it?
said froggily.
Please go back and retrofit that to every episode, please.
All right, mate. No worries.
I'll give you a few. Blur said. Blur whispered. Blur exclaimed. Blur ejaculated.
Yeah, he did.
That was the loudest one.
Well, do you remember like the first time you read that in like a work of classic literature? And like,
Yeah, it was Sherlock Holmes.
David
It's,
ejaculated.
Second Sherlock. It's even worse because it's like Watson walks in and fucking says to Holmes, "What are you doing, Holmes?" And he says, "I'm taking heroin." What? Watson ejaculated.
Yeah. Jesus.
He just comes instantly knowing that he's doing heroin. What is this? It's so funny. Whichever story that is, I think it's like the second Sherlock Holmes story, but it opens with that. It's just, I'm just so bored, so I thought I'd do some heroin. And then the episode ends with, "I suppose that's another mission, another mystery solved, Holmes." And he's like, "Yes, but what shall I do now?" And he reaches for the heroin.
very, very good literature.
Yeah.
Thanks, Arthur.
Great literature. All kids should be reading it. How did this one end? What was the cliffhanger?
Ghosts.
Ghosts.
Ghosts. There's lots of
Ghosts.
ghosts and they're
Yeah.
everywhere.
Good
So
ghosts.
Good ghosts.
we can move on to perhaps a Pedro says.
Let's do it.
Oh, whose go is it at the theme?
Oh,
Back
tune?
to this guy. It's been a while.
I think
Yeah,
it's
go on, Paul.
Yeah, I think it's a salty original.
Yeah, it's been a while. Give it back to Paul. I think it needs to go back to Paul.
Yeah, it's his now. We've all had a go, and we've realised that Paul
I don't
does
even
it.
remember
Paul
having
does
a
it
go.
better.
And
Did I do a good one?
we're
Please
talking
tell me
over
I
whatever
did.
Yeah.
beautiful
So
thing
subtle.
he's doing.
We talked right over it.
I'll do it in the style of Marek. Boo 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 boo. Pedro says.
Oh, actually,
Love
Paul, if over the next few episodes you can do it in the style of each character, that'd
Yes.
be beautiful.
No
Oh,
worries.
fantastic. Yes, please.
Quest. Fantastic.
That was the name of the episode, the name of the whole show. I don't know if we indicated it for grammar, but it is Quest. Fantastic.
Quest? Question mark.
Fantastic.
Fantastic.
Roll of the
And
eyes.
Fantastic has to be a little bit dejected.
Yeah.
Quest.
Fantastic.
Quest? Cup of tea?
Quest. Fantastic.
Quest Vicar. The eponymous Pedro
Oh, Pedro!
The OG.
says, knowing what we were talking about before the recording, you talked about maybe using a different system. Are you continuing the same story just on a different system, or switching systems and telling a new story? And if so, will Sarah still GM, or is someone else taking the seat? Yes, please, for the love of God, Sarah is still
gonna GM.
GMing.
Yeah.
Hold on, was that
With
Pedro?
nothing.
Was that Pedro asking about what we're going to do next, or just trying to desperately make sense of how we've been playing the game? Are you guys still playing D&D, or is this a different system of the same story?
Are you continuing the
both.
same story? Because it doesn't feel like there's any narrative cohesion.
It kind of feels like even Paul stopped paying attention to what happens.
So in answer, yes, we've all begged Sarah to GM whatever we do next.
Sure have.
And that's about
I
as
think-
far as we've decided, I think, right?
Yeah, so
For
we had a
certain.
tiny little discussion this morning that I want people just to go away and think about maybe potential games that they would might want to play, or themes or locations.
Scrabble.
Space was bounded around a little bit. Not saying that's what we're doing,
Yeah.
just or
I like space.
just for the Patreons.
We all like space.
Might be space.
Yeah.
Could be
Might be
space.
space.
I did a one-shot space thing with the roll to cast people, and died instantly, and spent the rest of the recording just hanging around. So
That
Oh.
sounds horrible. What game was that?
Oh,
I can't remember.
Well, we're not playing that one.
No.
that
Yeah.
one's a no.
Okay, I'll find out what that was and
Not
not,
play
and
it.
not play that.
And suggest that vehemently.
So I can die and leave.
Yeah. See you, losers. The conversation this morning went along the lines of me and Nell going, yeah, we're pretty happy with whatever. And then Jen looking at the thing that you showed us and going, oh, this looks great. And then I looked at it and went, yeah, let's do this. And you went, no, go away and think about it independently. Like, why? Why would we
Yeah.
do that?
I have brought a game that I thought might be fun to the table, but I'm not 100% sold on it, and I don't want everyone to think
I'll
that
read
that
it
is
properly.
definitely what
Yeah.
we're doing. Yeah, it's just it is a concept that is out there, and
Okay.
Yeah.
we can bring all kinds of concepts to the table and figure what
Yeah.
we want to do for season 2. I think the thing was mainly, though, that Dungeons and Dragons is, while a well-known thing, and like a lot of people listen to it and go like, oh, I know how this works.
Yeah.
It's very hard to do as an actual play, especially one it's like on like the time frame that we record.
Yeah. And it's a bit of a poisoned well.
It does make it a bit more rigid. Yeah.
Yeah.
And, we do mostly like to do the role play.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Mechanical stuff. We have had fun with the mechanics of D&D. So I think we've had a good time with
Yeah.
using the game. It has provided certain things that playing D&D this season we might not have done if it had been a different game. So there has been benefits of using D&D, but
With its tropes and
I'm
all
quite,
that.
but yeah, and just certain, like all the items or just certain spells have been, things like that. Just things you can
Yeah.
play around with. But I'm quite happy to play a game that is completely different.
Same, because we're playing D&D and it's rules like to the max. And it's like, well, it's cool. D&D, you can get as crunchy as you want or as loosey-goosey as you want. And now this isn't our first year ever of playing games together like noobs. And it's pretty obvious that, there are other games that we can play that where you don't have those mechanics in place at all.
Yeah. I would say, like, because we're all familiar with the game, it means that we're not constantly having to stop to, like, look into the rules. But no, we still do.
Yeah, we do.
Like, we've been playing this for
So
7
much.
years.
And-
we still have to fully stop
Yeah.
everything in order to spend several minutes looking at pages to figure out how this fucking thing works.
And we really could pick a game that's more role play and less rules.
Yeah.
Like a less dice-based system, like it's
more right, less rules.
Yeah.
And we, we could do a more. We could have had that heist.
Yeah.
In
Yes. Sarah was saying if it had been powered by the apocalypse, it would have.
Yeah,
worked.
that is
Yeah.
the other big thing for me. I love to roll with punches, but when it comes to like combat and stuff,
I love to punch you.
I can't be like coming up with stuff on the
Yeah,
fly.
it's tricky with D&D.
Because it's like,
really
well, let me
tricky.
pull up tons of stat blocks. Let me.
Yeah.
You do have to prep a lot more if you want to include.
Yeah, I think the important thing is whatever we go for, it's going to be a system that one of the many games out there that's going to give us the freedom to be the same.
Dickheads.
Yeah,
sorry.
to be
No.
dickheads, to
Sorry.
be us, to be the same level of us.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Same vibes. We're not like Sarah. I came onto the call and you were ruling out Call of Cthulhu. I agree.
Yeah. As fun as it would be to
like
play,
it's not going to be that.
It's not. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Is
not
that
Quest
because you
Fantastic.
die, like, you go mad real quick? Is that
Yeah,
what-
you die. You can die or go insane
I've
really
never,
easily.
I've never played it, but I feel like that's what I remember thinking.
It's a horror game, and it's very like we could if we played Call of Cthulhu, we would play it in the same way that we play
Oh, yeah.
Would we die?
D&D, but we'd be dead and have to come up with new
Yeah,
characters
I mean-
all the time, and it's not the best vehicle for it.
Yeah, gotcha.
I've seen someone do a funny Call of Cthulhu, but I think it's it's not our vibes.
Yeah.
It's definitely not our vibes.
How about
Yeah.
this really intense role-playing strategy game I have where you play Churchill's war cabinet in the Second
I
World War?
like it. I like
There we go.
it.
that
Nice,
seems
nice.
Who
good.
wants to be Archibald Sinclair?
That's pretty good, really.
Oh, that's my favorite.
Oh, come on. We've got fucking textbook Anthony Eden over here.
Paul, the most important
We can
question
overlook that.
is: can someone on the call do a Churchill impression as good as Gary Oldman?
Well, I think we're all going to have a
Yeah,
go right
yeah,
now.
we are.
yeah.
To say goodbye at the end of this
So,
episode.
Yeah.
Yes, okay.
Thanks for
We'll
the
all say
question,
goodbye
Pedro.
as Churchill. Yes.
Give us a
God.
Churchill line. Wait,
This
let
is
me look
gonna
it up.
this is gonna be my beligda. I've not prepared this.
We'll fight them on the beaches is obviously
Yeah.
the most famous thing. We should
Fight them on the riches.
fight them on the beaches. We should fight them on the landing crafts or something like that. The landing.
Fight them on the
things.
lawns and in the shops. And
Let's all just say thank you for listening.
okay.
Thank you for listening.
I don't
Thank
know
you
what
for
we-
listening. Nope. Oh, matron.
Thank you for listening. Oh wait, did you say we're doing Gary Oldman's? Thank you for listening.
Oh, that's what I was going to do.
Oh,
now you've
sorry.
ruined it. I'm not doing it anymore.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it anymore.
My Gary Oldman Churchill's just climbing slapper.
And there we go.
I say thank you for listening.
Oh, Poirot's still here.
Gary Oldman's Poirot.